What up, Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to this YouTube channel. And on this video, I really want to debunk, demystify, and make it much clearer the big word on everyone's mind, which is digital marketing. So I think that digital marketing is one of those big MBA style words that people just kind of throw around. They don't really know the definition of or understand what kind of goes into it. What are the tasks that someone who is doing digital marketing is actually gonna do? What are the processes and the procedures that go into it? Why might you even want to hire a digital marketing agency or be doing it yourself? There's a lot of different questions that go into this. I think as well, the results which you can expect from doing something like digital marketing. So this is one of those really big amorphous words that I think needs to just be really simplified, made much easier to understand. In my hallmark fashion, I'm going to demystify that for you today, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, man, so let's get started here. However you came across this video, thank you so much for your time and your attention, and hopefully you leave this video with more confidence about the subject of digital marketing, also a little bit excited. And kind of, to me, this is one of the most inspiring pieces ever when it comes to just the different fields out there in online business, because I got started as a digital marketer in 2012, and it completely, radically transformed my entire life. Not only did it have profound results when it comes to my own business and helping my clients, but it's also something that I'm passionate about. I'm a passionate mofo, and I just love being able to impact the world in this way, have my messages be disseminated, getting visitors to my website. It is so cool. It feels like you have a stadium full of people which you're speaking to or seeing your messages, and you can have a massive influence when it comes to your impact on the world. So most people that come to me that are interested in learning more about digital marketing, either they are an existing business owner or they haven't yet started their business, but they're kind of wondering the same thing, which is, hey Sal, I know that I could have some kind of an effect offline, right? I could get people visiting my store, or I have tons of people who are saying great things about my products or great things about my service, or I know that people are responding really well when it comes to the service which I am rendering to the world. How do I blow this up? How do I add this element of scale? How do I reach people not just in my local area, but also people that are nationwide if you're in the United States, or worldwide if you're in Canada, Australia, Europe, right? Wherever it is that you're hailing in from, maybe even an Asian country, maybe you're in Hong Kong or in South Korea, wherever it is, how do you access a global audience, build a global brand, and really grow your business or what you're trying to do to the next level? And that's, my friends, is really this missing piece of the puzzle comes in, which is digital marketing. So probably other people will not believe or not agree with me necessarily, but I think that digital marketing is kind of like humanity discovering fire. It is a tool to be used, and it can leverage your potential, can leverage what you can maybe already do, right? If you're kind of doing something on a small scale in a business, right, in some kind of way, or in your local area, you can add this element, which is digital marketing, and you can have this magnified effect. It's as powerful and as transformative as fire it was to our ancient ancestors. The easy way to think about digital marketing is either to think about it in terms of a specific campaign which you are going to be running with a clear objective, or as a department which you are growing within your company that's going to be running ongoing campaigns or multiple campaigns throughout the life cycle of your company. So that is my first point, is to think about the objective when it comes to a digital marketing campaign, or why are you thinking about or even involving digital marketing as an arm in your business or in this thing that you're trying to get. Are you trying to grow, for example, eyeballs? Do you want more attention? Do you want more customers? Do you want more leads, right? What is the end goal of really putting in all of the work to run a digital marketing campaign? You need to be clear about maybe the one or two or multiple objective which you have. For example, a lot of my coaching students will come to me and be like, Sal, I'm trying to run a new product launch. I'm trying to launch a new product, a physical product on Kickstarter or on Indiegogo. Or I have other clients that come to me like, or Sal, I want to actually raise money from investors for my product or for my company or for my service, and I'm trying to use equity crowdfunding in order to do that. There's an end result, some kind of objective when it comes to running a digital marketing campaign. And number one, you need to be clear, what is your objective? Now, dude, just between you and me, we got to be honest here, okay? I would say the vast majority of business owners and people that I work with when it comes to helping in this area, most of us kind of undersell ourselves. Most of it has really low goals. We don't really think about the full potential of a fully realized business idea, or really think about the big picture when it comes to our vision. This is not the time to skimp and to have small goals. If you're gonna be putting in so much work to run a digital marketing campaign to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions millions of people online. You really need to dig deep and really think about your big vision. Don't limit yourself. Don't cap your potential. Really think about your objective. What is the actual thing which you want to achieve? Sometimes, and I know that this was definitely true when it comes to myself growing up and different people that I was surrounded with, we're not taught to go after what we really want. We're taught to settle. This is a moment where you do not want to settle. Point number 2 is that once you are clear on your purpose, you need to gain some clarity on the audience which you will be targeting in this digital marketing campaign. Now, when I first started to think about this, I started thinking about those really scammy like ad campaigns and promotion campaigns, just trying to like get someone to buy this really crappy product. And I never really felt comfortable about that. Once I started to actually change my mindset and started to really think about helping people, how could I actually help the world by putting out high quality education, for example, with my perspective or with your business? How can you actually reach some of those higher order objectives of maybe impacting the world for the positive, getting a quality product out there in other people's hands, making it so they don't have poor selection of choices when it comes to services, really showing up in an ethical way to actually make a dent in the universe. When you begin to think about it that way, then you really should be thinking about who are the people you're trying to help. What age demo are they? Where are they located when it comes to the globe? What gender demographics are they? What might they be interested in? What problems are they suffering from that you are trying to solve, right? When it comes to your product or your service, really thinking about your audience and being more clear about that, and begin to add some clarity and kind of really sketch out this digital marketing campaign, which you and I are building together right now. Now, I guess experts like myself, we're not really supposed to admit this, right, to our audience, but honestly, I don't always know who my audience is. I know it's scary, it's shocking. Sometimes I will have a video that just goes viral and it like just completely boggles my mind. Or I'll have a new product or a new course or a new book which I launched and it goes viral, right? It's insane how sometimes that will happen. So it's okay if you kind of put a stake in the ground and maybe you change that or you use that later based on what you're seeing in real time when it comes to the data. I'll give you a very quick example, which is when I actually went back to El Salvador to find my birth mother. If you don't know, I'm adopted from El Salvador. I grew up in a very small town in Massachusetts. I lived a lot of my years there. Also, I lived 6 years in New York City before I came down here to Miami, Florida. But I'm originally born in El Salvador and I was adopted by a Caucasian family. So at a certain point in my life, I decided to go back to El Salvador to try to find my family there and to also meet my birth mother. And I didn't have very much information at all. I just went to this one town and passed out lots and lots of photos. Well, lo and behold, I decided why not for my memory to actually just record this story. And I did that. And I put this out there on this other YouTube channel, which I have. And oh my gosh, this thing went viral. It went bananas. It has over 500,000 views on this one particular video. And as a result of that, I had thousands of people reach out to me, whether it's people that are adopted, people that are located in El Salvador, people that relate with the story in some way, people that also are maybe different distant family members, etc. It was one of the most transformative moments in my life, and I wasn't sure who was actually going to watch that video. So you never know when it comes to your target audience. Put a stake in the ground, but also be open-minded that might change in the future. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillment is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillment today. Link in the description. Point number 3, when it comes to digital marketing, and again, this is getting your product, your message, your beliefs, your brand, your values into or in front of other people. The way we do that, again, is with the online marketplace. So when we're talking digital marketing, we're always talking about online mediums, not offline broadcast mediums. So next is we need to think about the channels where we actually want to target these individuals which you are trying to help. So for example, one channel might be Google, right? Google, whether that's organic or that's a paid channel, for example, Google AdWords, you might decide we're going to focus on people who are on the Google platform. Another might be Facebook. We're going to be focusing on people who are part of the Meta, Facebook platform, or Instagram, right? Or Snapchat or TikTok or whatever it is. We focus on what are the channels which are going to be going after in order to actually build this audience message match to get people actually taking action and to achieve achieve that objective, which was the first step which we outlined. So whether this is social media or search engine advertising or whatever it is, right? I gotta say this, and you could even be doing other things, for example, like advertising on Amazon, etc. There's so many different platforms that are out there. I do have to say this, just because you are not an expert when it comes to being a user of this channel doesn't mean you can't use that channel from a business owner's perspective. For example, I'll tell you guys another secret. I really don't like social media. Like as a specific user, I don't like using social media. I hate the way that it distracts me. I hate the time drain. I just don't like the way I feel when I'm using apps like Instagram and Facebook. I don't really like it, but as a business owner, I love it. It tells you so much about your audience. It allows you to actually broadcast your messages. So you don't have to be a lover or consumer of these channels. Maybe you just need to work with someone who knows those channels very well as a business owner or in depth, or you need to study it from that perspective. The next point when it comes to crafting a successful digital marketing strategy or digital marketing campaign, and the fact you've gotten this far in the video is incredible, right? So if you have gotten this far, you are investing in your education, give me a thumbs up so that you know that this video was worth your time. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the next step. So the next step, once you have the objective, once you have the channels that you're going to be going after, you then need to think about the actual strategy which you're going to be using to achieve said objective. So I was never very good at puzzles when I was growing up, but it's almost a little bit like a puzzle. You want to think about what is the best strategy to actually achieve the objective which I have written down. But there are many different types of digital marketing strategies. And to be honest, I think that this is where most people are going to get really, really confused because there's so many ways to achieve different objectives. You could do organic marketing. You could do paid marketing. Even within those, there are different strategies. For example, you could do direct response marketing. You could do direct to consumer marketing. You could do a self-liquidating funnel. You could do an email sequence. You could do a webinar. There are so many. You could do text message marketing, right? You could do a chatbot. There are so many different strategies and ways in which you can actually engage that community or that audience which you're going after in order to achieve the end objective. And some of these strategies are better than others, right? So you really need to think about what is the strategy which I'm going to be using in order to maybe launch this new product into the world. Am I going to be doing a Kickstarter campaign? Am I going to be doing a pre-sale campaign on my own website? Am I going to be putting up the money myself and then just launching this directly on Amazon or on Shopify or something like that? There's so many different ways of achieving a particular objective. So be clear in your next step, the strategy which you're going to use to actually achieve that objective. And again, that's usually happening online. Now, I'm going to tell you something else as well that most people are probably not going to tell you, which is that sometimes that strategy is going to change. So just because you've identified a strategy that you think will work, you should not write that in stone. You should really go out there and you should execute, but you should also evaluate, is this strategy achieving my objectives? And in some cases, it's not. To give you a quick example, when I was around 16, 17 years old, I really started to get into this idea that I could actually become the person that I've always wanted to be. I'd look at people that I admire, and I realized that the only difference between those people that I admire and myself is the actions that I'm taking on a daily or on a weekly basis. And one of those traits which I really admired were people that were fit, people that were actually going to the gym, that had kind of that healthy physique, that were actually willing to put an effort to do that, and we're seeing those results tangibly when it comes to the way they look or how they feel about themselves or their confidence. So I made it my mission to go to the gym every single week. And I started to learn about exercise. I started to learn about the science behind that. And I actually started to get a little bit of results when it comes to that. But later on, what I discovered was that while I was taking tons and tons of action, while I was going there and I was lifting weights, I actually had the wrong strategy because I was not being very mindful when it comes to my diet, which is a huge portion when it comes to fitness. When I made that shift and I started to change the strategy to achieve my objective, then it was like, oh my gosh, like this took off, right? I started to actually transform the way I looked. I started to be way more confident, more excited about that. I could actually look at myself in the mirror and be like, wow, I can't believe I actually changed, the way that my body is when it comes to muscular or kind of thinning down, losing body fat, that kind of stuff. It was a transformative moment for me because I realized I could impact my future. The final part of crafting a digital marketing strategy is selecting the tactics which you are going to be using in this particular digital marketing strategy in order to achieve the actual strategy which you've outlined and thus the objectives. Now, for example, tactics are sort of like the nitty-gritty of what you're doing when it comes to really the minutia of the day-to-day in order to achieve achieve that particular strategy, right? So you think of this more when you think about really learning the intricacies of things like Facebook advertising or the intricacies of email marketing, right? Really the actual tactics which you're using. For example, if you're launching a Kickstarter campaign, maybe you're going to be having certain add-ons, you're going to be having certain upsells or stretch goals, or the things that I talk about in my free course when it comes to Kickstarter and many of my other free courses that are out there. This is the part of my life that I've literally spent my entire career helping students with in terms of a coaching basis, in terms of people who have read my books, talking about strategy and tactics in order to achieve goals, raising money, getting funding, bringing new products into the world, those kinds of things. Really, the strategy and the tactics is where the actual funds are made when it comes to your revenue generation, when it comes to achieving those objectives. So at this point in the journey, you're really getting crystal clear about those tactics which you'll be taking, which sometimes you got to be persistent with. You have to push through those pain barriers because sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes you don't want to have to go and you have to work extra hours after work on the weekends to really be executing and be doing this in a consistent manner. And for those of you out there, I would say at this point in time, we just really need to push through sometimes those difficult emotions to show up, to have that discipline as a business owner, or you need to find a digital marketing agency who can just take all of this off your plate. As a bonus tip in this video, and I think this is kind of the last one that I would mention when it comes to digital marketing, is that every single marketing campaign, whether it is digital marketing or offline marketing or whatever kind of viral marketing that you're doing, right? You need to think about the budget. What are you going to be willing to actually pull the trigger on when it comes to making these objectives and these results happening? Because at the end of the day, everything is an investment, whether it's your own time to learn and understand digital marketing strategies that are out there and tactics, etc., to actually achieve those strategies, or you're hiring an agency like mine, a digital marketing agency, to help you with this. You do have to have certain resources, whether that's your time or your own funds, to put into this in order to achieve your objectives. So first of all, if you want to learn more about launching a digital marketing campaign, be that a Kickstarter campaign, an e-commerce campaign, a physical product, raising money via equity crowdfunding, or anything in the realm of business, you can book an individual coaching call with me at the link down below. That's an intensive coaching call where we go through the A to Z of your entire strategy, give you feedback on it, tell you what you need to know. A lot of the times, honestly, when you're going to forward when it comes to something like this, you don't really always know what you don't know. There's a lot of like question marks, a lot of things that you're not very familiar with. But hopefully at the end of that call, and literally I'd say 99% of students will say this, you will be extremely confident going into out there and executing that strategy. Or at a certain point in time, you're like, Sal, I don't really know if I want to do this myself. This is a lot of work. We can also as well talk about ways that I can help you with me or with my team. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video kind of demystifying and debunking and deconstructing this idea of digital marketing and add a little more clarity to you. I'll be having a lot more videos about this coming out as well in the future. So come subscribe to this channel, give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you next time.